Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Speed Gaming. This is the 2025 Mega Man 2 Zipless Any Tournament. My name is Phantom Ryu, and here we have an exciting matchup for you today. warmCabin versus McBobX. Both excellent runners of this game. This should be a barn burner, and thanks for being up relatively early for Speed Gaming folks and night owls like the rest of us for being up this early. It's 11:30 Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, but we are going to have a great match for you today. And again, for those who have perhaps not watched a Zipless tournament in the past, Mega Man 2 has a bunch of ways where you can push Mega Man into the ceiling, hit the buttons, and zip through certain parts of the stages. Our runners will not be using those particular tricks today. This is simply a zipless version of it. So the route is significantly different, and so we'll be seeing some, takes a little bit longer than the zip category, and in just a minute here we'll get our runners synced up. But as usual, warmCabin starting with Flashman stage, and not too different from even the zip category, because there's really not anything you can do with zips or other techniques to make Flashman any faster. So normally, Flashman is where we start off the stage. So unfortunately, warmCabin forgot to start their timer, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to sync up the streams here, but I will definitely let everyone know what the official racetime.gg times are here. Again, Flashman stage, relatively straightforward, just run and gun, not much to do here. However, the key to this stage will be the Flashman fight himself, as we see warmCabin running through here. And we will see our first Robot Master fight of the day. We are playing on the American version normal difficulty, so it will not take nearly as many hits to kill Flashman as it does in the difficult or Japanese version. Not a terrible fight from warmCabin, but could have been a little bit more optimized. Let's see if McBobX has a little bit better luck. Yes, very nice Flashman kill there for McBobX as we move into our next stage, which will likely be Airman. And again, you know, our runners have item 3 here. Sometimes you will go get item 1 before you do Airman stage, but that's just not something you do in a race. That's something you do when you're searching for a PB. The item 1's through Airman stage, terribly difficult, not something you're going to do in a race. So our runners are going to go ahead and hit Airman here early. Airman, a very technical stage. You'll see the Flashman time stopper used here to stop the horns on these platforms, so you can just run right through. Good job there, avoiding the horns. And again, there are strategies you can use here to the pixels to the left and right of the horns. There's some safe spots there, but again, that's not a race strategy that anyone's going to use today. I think there was a despawn from warmCabin on one of the lightning juckers there. And warmCabin going to use, there it goes. So when you pause and go into the menu in this game and you restart, when Mega Man blinks back into existence, you can actually get a little bit more distance on your jump or your fall. So that's why you saw warmCabin do that there. But so far so good. Good Airman stage. Oh, there's the trick I was talking about. warmCabin does use it. Wow. Let's see if McBobX is just going to use the classic damage strat. And both of them, as you see, turn to the left there to ensure that the bird spawns from the left rather than the right, making it a whole lot easier to get through the end of this stage quickly. warmCabin has to deal with a bird there, loses a brief amount of time, but he's on into Airman. Misses the damage boost. McBobX has a little bit better Airman fight than warmCabin, but excellent job by both of our runners. Again, these are not perfectly synced here today, so I can't say for certain who is in the lead, and that's just because our we do not have an accurate timer. But the long cutscenes going here, as our folks get the all-important item 2, you're going to see a lot of use of item 2, particularly in Heatman stage, to get across some sections there. And again, we are playing on the American version, which has much longer cutscenes. Both runners starting in Quickman stage here at about the same time. Now, warmCabin has selected the air shooter here. Interesting choice, not something I've seen, but obviously there's a reason that warmCabin is running this game and I am not. And as you saw there with that weapon pickup, sometimes you can lose a little bit of time by the pickups because the entire game freezes while your weapon energy or life is refilled. So interesting choice there by warmCabin to use the air shooter. As you see, McBobX went through, did not use the air shooter. I'm not sure what kind of time save is there, and I apologize for my ignorance in that matter. You will also notice our runners jumping before they fall. That is because if you hit your head on the ceiling, you actually fall a little bit faster. Again, warmCabin taking a little bit of a penalty for the weapon refill. And again, I sort of casually speed run this game, and so I'm watching this and learning tips to get my PB down. But these runners will beat this game in a race minutes faster than my PB. Nice Quickman fight by both runners here. warmCabin got a little bit weird patterns there, but McBobX just destroyed Quickman there. So the quickest cutscene with Quickman, as appropriate. On to the Metal Man stage here. You'll see the use of the Flashman Time Stopper and item 2 specifically, as well as the quick boomerang in this stage. Other than the Metal Blade, quick boomerang is Metal Man's weakness. We use our Flashman Time Stopper at the beginning here, so we don't have to deal with these spike traps. And our runners are making this look easy, but it is not terribly easy to avoid all of these screws here. Very nicely done by both runners. Got to consistently jump on the conveyors. Here's a tight jump there underneath that gear clown. Nicely done by both. Now nicely done by both of our runners. Item 2 is going to take us across the stage here, but you do have to be careful with those gear clowns. If they fall down, they will hit you and knock you off of your item 2. Here's where you will see the quick boomerang coming into play here. If McBobX does this right, Metal Man will never move. And there we have it. Poor guy doesn't even get to move, just has to stand there and eat boomerang to the face. Both our runners with a nice Metal Man kill. And on to the next stage. All right, on to the Bubble Man stage here, and we apologize in advance for the pixelation that's about to ensue. This stage, of course, kills your bitrate. Nicely done, item 2 by McBobX. Let's see if warmCabin can get it as well. Takes the hit, stays on, and both our runners are through that portion. Switching to the metal blade here, we'll be using the metal blade throughout the rest of the stage, including the boss. Missile hop and avoids the shell. Nice job by McBobX avoiding the shrimp and the power-ups. All right, McBobX is not going for the sweaty jumps here. warmCabin, however, does. Nicely done. Very tough jump there. Very tough jump there as well by warmCabin. Saving those frames. And again, warmCabin getting hit with the power-up penalty. And that's just RNG sometimes. But McBobX is into... Bubble Man should be 4 metal blades to the face, and Bubble Man will be no more. 1, 2, 3, 4... 3 bubble pattern there from Bubble Man. Some slowdown, but McBobX makes short work. Let's see, warmCabin gets 1 bubble, and nicely done as well. We will see the Heatman stage up next. Lots of interesting item use coming up here. Very technical stage, and Heatman is one of the most technical stages in the game, regardless of whether you're doing zip or zipless. And this portion here, harder than it actually looks because our runners are just going to be holding right the whole time. So making sure that your jumps are perfect is both difficult and required to get through that section without dying. McBobX with a little bit of an error on his item 2, doesn't place it high enough. Oh my gosh. He is losing some time here. Gets it. warmCabin has the same error, but recovers much faster. Now, luckily, because the item 2 doesn't actually start moving to the right, McBobX did not lose any of his item 2 there, so he's still going to be able to use item 2 to get through this portion. warmCabin having a little bit of trouble here. McBobX, very nicely done through this portion of the stage. And now let's just ride past all the blocks. So warmCabin jumps up on the blocks a little bit, probably concerned about how much item 2 he has left. He is going to have to do a couple of pause buffers here to make it through. Loses a little bit of time there, unfortunately, but McBobX is heading on into Heatman. Let's see if he gets good patterns from Heatman today. After each hit, Heatman can pause for either 30, 60, or 90 frames. That looks like a 60 and a 30. Good RNG for McBobX. Let's see what warmCabin gets today. 60, 90. Ooh. And fired a little early there, but Heatman is no more. It is on to Woodman. And in Woodman stage, you'll see one of the rare uses of the atomic fire in the speedrun. We use it to take out the first wolf before using the time stopper to take out the rest. there are a couple different routes for this stage. Okay, McBob is going to use item 2 in the beginning as opposed to using it at the end of the stage. Works just fine either way, but warmCabin has decided to go to Crashman before Wood. There's no real difference in time, because you don't necessarily use Woodman in here. Now, Crashman is probably the most technical stage in the game here, due to the way that you have to use your items to get through the stage as fast as possible. McBobX having no issue here with the Woodman stage, although he is reaching the most technical part of the Woodman stage. And he is just going to use metal blades to get through here, because he used item 2 at the beginning of the stage. Many runners will use item 2 through this portion, but meanwhile, warmCabin is beginning the crash climb. So far, so good. Use all of his item 1s here to get up here, and now we're going to see some item 3 usage on the ladders. warmCabin not using as many item 3s as we're used to seeing here, but still doing a good job with the crash climb, and certainly better than me. Blink and you will miss Woodman, because one single solitary fully charged atomic fire takes out Wood. warmCabin going into Crashman here. We'll see if warmCabin can get a one-shot kill. All right. Darn it. It took 2. So difficult. Now McBobX is starting Crashman. warmCabin will be going on to Woodman, and then it will be eyebrow time, ladies and gentlemen. McBob doing a great job here so far. This is the hardest item placement, and gets it. Oh, he took a little bit of a hit. All right, Cabin opting to save his item 2 for later. We'll see where he uses it. Meanwhile, Bob doing really well on the crash climb so far. Over to the time stopper for Cabin to despawn the wolves. All right, let's see how the crash climb goes for McBob here. Now you notice our runners are using the items to get to the top of the screen. That's because if you are above the screen and you hold down to grab the ladder instead of up, it pushes you up significantly farther on the next screen, as you see. All right, Cabin using item 2 to get through the 8th portion there. And McBobX will be heading on into Crash. We'll see if Bob can get a one-shot kill on Crashman. Nicely done. Crashman is no more. And Cabin will be heading into Woodman. Now, did not switch his weapon before coming into Heatman, but if you look on Mr. McBobX's side, you will see the greatest eyebrows in video game history. It is Dr. Wily time, and of course it is time for the best Mega Man music ever. Mega Man 2, Dr. Wily stages 1 and 2. Everybody get ready to put the bun in the bathroom. And we have eyebrows on Cabin side. course, the Wily stages require even more judicious use of your sub-weapons because you do not get a refill between stages here. And again, if you place item 2 in the right spot and it doesn't actually move forward, it doesn't use any weapons energy. Nice item 3 there from McBobX, and again. Nicely done. Item 1's there from McBob. This warmCabin starts up on the brief climb here in Wily stage. And which weapon? Okay, McBob is going to use fire strats here. A little bit more difficult, but slightly faster than using the quick boomerang. All right, warmCabin is through the item 1 portion. See how fast McBob can get the dragon. Nicely done. See which strats Cabin wants to use. All right, Cabin is going to use boomerang strats. And the dragon goes down very fast for warmCabin. Brief glitch on McBobX's side, but it's fine. Pico Pico Coon here. No RNG at all here. This should be no problem. We know exactly where they're coming and exactly where to toss our metal blades. Cabin getting a little bit of weapon energy there to get across the chasm. And last, Pico Pico coming up right. Oh no, that was the last Pico Pico. Frame rate, we're getting no flashing here. Looks like there was a perfectly timed and McBobX now down in Wily 3. Of course, we're all hoping for as few fish as possible here. This is the shortest stage in the whole game. Well, except, of course, for the last. But warmCabin using item 1 to get over the spike traps, takes the damage boost on the other. Pico Pico time for Cabin as McBob is falling down, and it'll be Guts Tank here in just a second. Good job avoiding the power-ups and the damage from McBobX. Let's see if we can get a good Guts Tank kill here. Two cycle, very well done by McBob as Pico Pico goes down on Cabin's side. It is time for Purple Hell. And the run killer that is Boo Beam Trap. Anything can happen in a race. We have seen Boo Beam Trap cause difficulties for runners before in this tournament. Hope that doesn't happen here today, but anything can happen in a race because we're live. Got some fish over on cabin side. He's going to be dropping down into the guts tank fight here. McBob climbing up purple hell. See which strats McBobX uses here on the spike pits. Damage boost in pit number 1 and through. McBobX is out of item 3, but that's not a big deal. Guts tank is down, and warmCabin will be heading into purple hell. We could have a menu there. Nice item 1 usage, and McBobX is through the spike rooms. Good item 1 there to get over the mech. And to get over the Super Joe. Alright, McBobX. It's only got the one item 1 here. And because of the slowdown and the sprite limit here, we may not see every second of the Boo Beam fight, but McBobX doing well here. I think he got the double. He did. Damage transfer, and boom. Boo Beam trap is down. And McBobX is going to head into the refights now. Alright, same strats from warmCabin. Oh, it takes a second hit there. McBobX is into Quickman. Long jump on the first one and right into the corner. Fantastic. Crushman is down and warmCabin. Oh no, he misses the item 2. Oh, we hate to see that. At least it's not that much of a time loss considering where he died, but you do hate to see that. And now he may have to use some alternate strats due to the depleted weapon energy that he has. Meanwhile, McBob heading into Heatman. 60, 60. Alright, does not fall off of his item 2 this time. Good adaptation. Knew he was going to run out of item 2 there early. Down to the last one. Blink and you will miss it. One single metal blade will take out Metal Man. Goodbye. Best weapon in the game, easiest boss in the game. warmCabin avoids the mech, but McBob is on the Wily machine. And Metal Blades just makes short work. warmCabin onto the Boo Beam trap. Uses his energy tank. Gets the difficult jump there. Nicely done. Good job getting back down. And that should be a double as well. Does not get the damage transfer, however. Meanwhile, the only thing left for McBobX right now is to remember not to hug the alien. McBobX is on the alien here. No alien hugs. Very nice kill on the alien. Well done. McBobX will finish with an official racetime.gg time of 29 minutes, 24 seconds. Very nicely done. Anytime you get under 30 minutes in a race, that is an excellent run. warmCabin into the Heatman fight. And just giving him bad RNG there on the pauses. Heat strats here, and goodbye, Woodman. Crashman is down. Three bubbles, and Bubbleman giving warmCabin a little bit of trouble, but as we know, Metal Man will go down very, very easily here. And as will Flashman. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, a little bit of a miss there, but all good. Now it is time for the Wily Machine, and then Don't Hug the Alien. Kevin takes a little bit of a hit here, but he's got plenty of... Goes for crash strats, doesn't quite get it. Did have a crash bomb left over. If you hit a crash bomb in the perfect spot, it will take out the Wily Machine with one crash bomb, or essentially one crash bomb. Again, let us not hug the alien. And warmCabin will finish official racetime.gg time of 31 minutes 58 seconds. So GG's to both of our runners here, and if you give us just a moment, we will be back very shortly with round 2 of this race. Take a quick break, smoke if you got them, and we will be back very shortly with race number 2 in this set. All right, folks, it is just about time for round two. McBobX up 1-0. Can warmCabin force a third game in this series, or is McBobX going to win two straight? We are about to find out. Need to sync up a bit, but McBobX has started up in Flashman stage, and again, relatively straightforward. We will have both of our racers synced up as soon as we can here. Again, Flashman, straightforward stage. All comes down to the actual Flashman fight at the end. Nicely done. Flashman fight there by McBob. McBobX again using the time stopper. Takes one hit. Does not get the despawn there. And doesn't even need to do the menu pause here. Of course, we do apologize for the desync here. Nicely done by McBobX there. Does get a power up, but navigated through the birds and the fanboys, a little bit. warmCabin heading into the second portion of the stage here. See if he does the. He does. Oh my gosh. That seeing those jumps on the horn platforms during a race is it's tense. warmCabin taking the airman fight here, and nicely done. Good patterns there. McBobX getting his item 2, heading on to Quickman stage. Both of our runners doing very well this time. Again, Quickman is also a relatively straightforward stage here. You know, when we were kids, we all used the Flashman Time Stopper so that we didn't have to get through the beams. But as we got older, we realized, oh, wait a minute. You don't even need to use it. So again, warmCabin, just like the last time, uses his air shooter here to get through this Quickman stage. Not something I've seen before, but it's something I might steal. 'Cause I can't mash. Like this section here, if you can mash, you can get through it pretty well, but we see the air shooter makes short work of these guys. Good job by warmCabin avoiding the power-ups and the time penalty that incurs. Let's see what kind of patterns we get for Quickman here for McBob. Bob's got to be careful here. Oh, wow. That was very close. Those boomerangs were coming back in. Luckily, McBobX took out Quickman before the boomerangs took him out. McBobX heading into Metalman. Let us see what kind of Quickman pattern we get for Cabin here. Quickman being a little bit of trouble here, but warmCabin takes him out. Meanwhile, McBobX heading through the spike traps. Not a problem. We got the Flashman Time Stopper. Uses the menu to get over the screw. No hits there. Good timing on those jumps to get through that conveyor. And item 2 through the clown gears. And Cabin takes one hit through the screws there. McBobX heading into Metalman here. And again, don't trust the screen right now. Again, we'd had a little bit of difficulty getting these two synced up, so we really have no idea who's in the lead. At least I don't. But McBob doing a great job there. warmCabin, as I've said before, that is a tough jump to get under that gear and that clown. Can't always get it perfect. McBobX on to Metalman. warmCabin, the quick boomerangs just missed that spring on the ground there. Nicely done by Bob to get over the frogs. And Metalman is down over on Cabin's side. Nicely done by Bob again, avoiding the shell. Happens to me all the time at that part. I hit the Hit the crab with the metal blade, and as I'm falling, I get hit by the shell. Oh, warmCabin accidentally hits the... Oh, and again, accidentally hits the password button. Ah. That's got to be frustrating, especially when you're in a race to have just an execution error like that. warmCabin is through the beginning of the stage there over the frogs. McBobX about to head into Bubble Man. And warmCabin just fires the metal blade and says, I'm not even going to run the risk of getting hit by that shell. Very nice Bubble Man by McBobX there. Oh, warmCabin with those tense jumps there. And everybody, I apologize. My voice is getting real scratchy here for some reason, but I'm going to push through. Bob heading on into Metal Man here. And as we saw last time, there's some tight execution required here. Let's see if McBobX can get through it a little bit better than he did last time. Meanwhile, Cabin getting a one bubble pattern there. Nicely done, Bubble Man boss. Yes, and McBobX learned from the last time. Did not make the same errors there in that particular room. Excellent item 2 usage so far for McBob. It looks like he'll have plenty to fly over the block section. And Cabin starting off the Heat Man stage. See if he can execute well this time. That was a 90 there at the end. 90 frame pause by Heat Man. Oh no! warmCabin falls down. A little bit of a time loss there. But he recovers and gets through that section. Gonna hop up on the top blocks like he did last time because he is running a little low on item 2. Is gonna need a couple of pause boosts here. Yeah, there, made it. Take the hit from the mech. And Cabin is on into Metal Man. And Cabin, we'll see if Cabin chooses to go Crash Man first or Wood Man first this time. As I said before, it doesn't necessarily matter at this stage of the game. Oh no, warmCabin again. I don't know if there's an issue with warmCabin's controller or what there, but that is not an error we would expect any of these runners to make. So warmCabin does in fact do Crashman before Wood here. Meanwhile, McBob is going to head on into Wood and take care of Woodman. Probably that section is the toughest item usage in all of Crashman stage here. Cabin takes a little bit of a hit. Goodbye, Woodman, we hardly knew ye. Alright, Cabin starting up the crash climb here. Good item usage. This will be the slight execution error there by warmCabin, but recovers nicely. Looks like warmCabin is getting some good item 3s here. And warmCabin will be heading into Crashman here. Looking for the ever-elusive one-shot kill. Doesn't happen here. 2 shots, and Crashman is down. So warmCabin still has to complete the Woodman stage here, but remember we are not fully synced here, so the difference between our runners is not as much as it shows on screen here. Nicely done Crashman kill there by McBob, and we will be seeing Wily 1. It is eyebrow time again. And best music in the game time again. Eyebrows. Takes the hit on the gorilla, and using item 2 through this section. Nicely done by Cabin. Meanwhile, it is Wily 1 time over here on McBob's side. Put the fun in the bathroom. So far, so good in Wily 1 for McBob. With item 3, obviously Woodman over on warmCabin side is going to be completely academic, single shot with the atomic fire. Excellent item 1 placement by McBob. And it is dragon time. we get one cycle? And yes, we do. Meanwhile, cabin side, it's item 2 time. And again, you know, Wily stages, you have to make judicious use of your weapon energy because it does not get refilled. Good despawn of the fan there by Bob. Excellent item 1 there from warmCabin to climb up to the Dragon's Roost, I guess you would call it, here in Wily 1. warmCabin last time used right. Cabin's going to use fire strats this time. Dragon is down for cabin. Meanwhile, McBob is going to make easy work of the Pico Kun here. Again, no RNG, completely scripted. No way to make it faster here. Wily 3 time for McBobX here. As always, we hope for few fish. warmCabin doesn't quite get the item 1 through the first, or it looked like he tried to get an item 1 through the spike trap there, and it didn't work. I may have misperceived that, but Bob, of course, has his quick boomerangs equipped and is ready to destroy the Guts tank. And good 2 cycle from McBob, and it is time for Purple Hell. warmCabin has completed Pico Kun, and now it is time for Wily 3. One fish, 2 fish, but this is not a Dr. Seuss book. Right, time for the spike pits for McBob, as warmCabin is just about to take out the Guts tank. Good despawn by warmCabin there. Cabin takes a bit of a hit on the guts tank. Small time loss. But McBob is through the spike pits. I think Bob was likely trying to item 1 over the mech, but does so there, and then item 1's over Super Joe. And it is Boo Beam Trap. Nicely done by McBob. Does get the double. Took out a wall and a Boo Beam Trap with the same shot. And the Boo Beam Trap is down. See how warmCabin navigates the spike rooms here. He did unfortunately take a death in the 3rd spike room during the first race as McBob heads into the refights. See if he can make up for that tragic mistake this time. All right. warmCabin has redeemed himself for the previous run. That was a costly error that occurred during the first run. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. warmCabin saved himself from death there with multiple menu pauses. Very nicely done. I thought he was doomed. All right, warmCabin now heading into Boo Beam Trap. Pretty low on life. He may end up using the energy tank here. I would not blame him if he does. Boo Beam going pretty well for Cabin here. Again, we are... Oh no, he does not get the double there. That is a really, really tight placement of that crash bomb to get both walls at the same time. And unfortunately, he does not get the damage transfers either, but... Again, this race looks like it is it's much closer than it appears on screen, but it's all over, but McBobX not hugging the alien, folks. warmCabin hitting the Heat Man. Iceman was Mega Man 1, Fanamaria. All right, McBobX will finish with an official racetime.gg time of 29 minutes, 27 seconds. And if I remember correctly, that's only 1 second off of his previous time. So talk about consistency. GG's to McBob, who takes the race takes the match 2 races to 0. But don't take anything away from warmCabin here. He's been doing an excellent job. Time for the Wily machine. Cabin's got plenty of metal blade. And it is all over for warmCabin as long as he doesn't hug the alien. We see you in the chat, Bob. Understand. Hope you get to feeling better, but GG's on winning the match, and obviously hope you get to feeling better. Go ahead and watch warmCabin here take out the alien. All about the matching here. The mashing, I'm sorry. And warmCabin will finish with an official racetime.gg time of 31 minutes 19 seconds. But as I said before, don't take anything away from warmCabin here. It is, as a guy who relatively casually runs this game, a time of 31 minutes is incredibly impressive, incredibly difficult to get to. The amount of time and practice that goes into that is insane. And so GG's to both of our runners. And McBobX will move on in the tournament. And he will face Working 34 in the next round. That is the end of round 2 of this tournament. And we will have our first round 3 of this tournament, our first match in round 3 of this tournament tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time. Karatar versus Satoko Attic 96. That will occur tomorrow at noon. We do not currently have a scheduled restream for it, but stay tuned and check the SpeedGaming schedule here that you'll see above your video here on Twitch, and you'll be able to tell when and what channel and if that match will be restreamed. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that will do it for this broadcast. We would like to thank you so much. And also remember to follow not only SpeedGaming and the SpeedGaming family of channels, SpeedGaming 1 through 6 here on Twitch, but make sure you follow these runners. They're putting in hard work for your entertainment and they deserve your follow. So give them a follow here on Twitch as well and support them. But I have been Phantom Ryu. It has been my pleasure to present this match in the tournament to you. Hope to see you guys again soon as we get close to crowning a tournament champion. Thank you all for your attention. But I am going to sign off, and I will see you all again soon. But bye for now. Thank you.